The United States Army Air Force is off for Berlin. Bucking a 70-mile-an-hour headwind, our flying forts hit temperatures ranging as low as 58 below zero as it bombs away over the German capital. One of our motors is shot out as we head for home after this big raid that cost us 14 bombers. That channel is a welcome sight. Air Force pictures show how flares are used to signal which forts have wounded crewmen aboard and to send medical ground crews into action. They'll be ready with first aid and blood plasma. The first American flag to fly over Berlin. Heroes of the 8th Air Force. They tell of their first daylight raid.
I'd like to introduce the pilot of the crew on this lead ship, Lieutenant Brown. Brownie?
Colonel, I was glad that I was along with him. I don't care about too many of them like that.
Fine. Sergeant, you were flying as waist gunner in the Sack Robbers.
Well, Colonel, all I got to say is my birthday that day, and it was a hell of a place to celebrate a birthday, but it was well worth it to be the first one to go over Berlin.
Well, boys, how would you like to go over again?
German prisoners of war in a northern Michigan camp take to their daily chores with a will. As these Signal Corps pictures show, use of the men for timber work was recently authorized to offset the grave labor shortage. Many of these men are expert shoemakers. Prisoners receive 80 cents a day. They may save it or spend it at the prison canteen. Meals equivalent to those of the Army are served and apparently enjoyed. There is no boredom here. This is imprisonment in humane America. Brazilian fishermen find good fishing off their coast that pays better returns than the finny variety. The catch is crude rubber, lost by the German war machine when the U.S. Navy sank 3 blockade runners. The German ships were bound from the Dutch East Indies with their vital cargoes when caught and sunk. Since then, fishermen have salvaged from 10 to 20 tons a day. Hitler's loss will help keep our war machines rolling. At an airport somewhere in the Caribbean, a huge U.S. transport brings in Eleanor Roosevelt. Signal Corps pictures show her stopping off here on one of her many trips. The Caribbean is important in America's defensive pattern, and Mrs. Roosevelt, with General Shedd, reviews the troops that are the bulwark of our far-flung defenses to the south. A new Australian destroyer is being christened today by Mrs. Douglas MacArthur. Named the Bataan in tribute to these gallant men of General MacArthur's who fought the Japs to the very end, she will bear an honored name.
Christen thee Bataan, and may God bless you.
Bataan is a name that this proud ship goes forth to avenge. May she have the honor of sailing victoriously past Bataan itself in our sweep to victory. A task force raids the Saipan Tinian Islands in the Marianas Group. Jap planes attack. "29 Japs shot from the sky." Altogether, including those wrecked on the ground, we accounted for 135 Jap planes. In addition, 2 enemy cargo ships were sunk and 9 others damaged. We lost only 6 planes. Not one of our ships was sunk. These are official Navy pictures. Jap Navy didn't turn up, as usual, even though the enemy detected our approach well in advance. Navy Secretary Knox said this raid in the one on Truk proved our mastery of the Pacific. The Great Harp drips with rain, but it takes more than water to dampen the Irish come St. Patrick's Day in the morning. 48,000 faithful strut up New York's Fifth Avenue. The wee ones were there, too. Mayor LaGuardia was invited. There may be water in those boots, but watch that strut. She can practically play Molly O with that baton. Sure, and it's a long parade with many of the fighting Irish missing. Today, they're fighting on nearly every Allied front. May St. Patrick be with them. Australian natives, the original ones, add spice to a Wild West show. A rootin' tootin' contest between diggers and Yanks in Brisbane. And when the diggers are Yanks, they seem to hit the ground just as hard. If you're sure it's going to happen, well, let it happen. You've got to know a horse awfully well to get this familiar with him. Even the gals fall for these ponies. You know, the diggers won on their home grounds. These Aussies are plenty tough.
What is there we can all do on the home front to help the men coming back and the men still over there? Sergeant Vincent Booth, who lost his leg in the African campaign, answers that important question.
There are things to do, very important things. They're not outwardly heroic. They're simple and everyday that seem unimportant. Maybe that's why they're so easy to forget. The real help I'm thinking of is symbolized by the Jones family, a real American family in an American home. These folks really know how to back us up.
In this home, there are 2 empty chairs for the duration. Grace, the oldest daughter, is serving with the WAC overseas. Bud is in the Navy and studying for aviation duty. Dad is working overtime these days, and 10% of his check goes into war bonds every week. Back at home, Mother is busy keeping up the morale of the home, writing frequent letters to Grace and Bud, but she still finds time to work 3 afternoons a week as a Red Cross nurse's aide. But more than all this home is a real arsenal for victory. Everything possible is conserved and saved. It's not much effort to turn the light off when you don't need it, but if the 30 million families across America did that, the United States would save nearly 2 billion kilowatt hours. They're taking extra care to make all equipment last just as long as possible. Rooms are kept at 65 degrees, and doors and windows are kept closed in winter. The gas kitchen range is used carefully and never for heating purposes. No waste fats go out with the garbage. They go into the fat salvage drive. All metal scrap in the basement and attic has gone to war. All old newspapers, magazines, and paper cartons are bundled up and tied for the local salvage drive. No old clothes or old shoes are thrown away. When clothes can't be repaired or made over, the Salvation Army or other local charities get them. These are the people we salute. Make your home an arsenal for victory by fighting waste every day from now until the war is over. 1, don't waste anything. 2, buy only what is necessary. 3, salvage what you don't need. 4, share what you have.